In this training, we're going to take a look at the date field types made available inside of SmartSuite. This is going to include a due date, a standard date, and also a date range. So if that's of interest, stick around and let's get into it. Inside of SmartSuite, we have a few different options for dates, as I've already mentioned. So let's go ahead and jump on into the first and easiest of the different date fields, and that's a standard date field. Let's go ahead and pop on into my screen here, and I will start by searching date, and you see that I get the three options that I've already mentioned: your date, date range, and due date. Let's start with just a date. Picking in just the date here, you'll notice that we can require an entry in the field. That's the default setting change that we can make. And we can also establish a default date. So if you want to add a specific default here, you can, including today or today plus, or just a specific date. Now we'll go ahead and add this field and take a look at how it works. When we click on the field itself, we have a calendar pop-up here where we can add a particular date, and we have the option to add time as well. So I can scroll on down and add time. Note that you're not stuck to just using the time that's in here, which is in 15-minute increments. I can also highlight the time and change it to be something else that's not already showing up in the default options. Once I'm happy with both the date and time, I can click done, and it's now saving that date for me in that field. Now the next type of field is the due date. So again, we'll search for date. And due dates are different than our standard date field, and due dates are different from the standard date field because they have some added functionality. The due date is what's responsible for syncing up to a status and to an assigned to field that we can actually then assign work to somebody with a specific due date in mind. So the nice thing about the due date field, as you see here as I hover over the field type, is that it allows us to visually track and manage due dates, and it also will automatically calculate how many days until or after a due date have passed. So you'll notice that we have to, of course, have that linked to a status field. I already have a status field in this app, and so it's automatically linking up to that status field here. So this is a key component of the due date field. Now, once I've established that it's linked to that particular status field, great. Again, I will simply make a selection from a date here. Notice that I don't have time associated with the due date, but once I've saved this up, I then also can hover over, and this little due date here is showing me how many days away before this is due. So as of this particular filming, I'm on November 5th, and so hovering over, I see that November 16th is 11 days away. So a pretty cool feature for the due date field, allows us to stay on top of our assigned work and make sure that we're doing things in a timely manner. Now the last date field type here is the date range. So by plugging this in, as the name would suggest, we're going to be able to choose both a start and an end date in the same field. So rather than having to use two different date fields, one for start, one for end, I now have them consolidated together in one field. Check out our display format here. We can use a pill that shows us how many days left until the whole thing is complete, or we can look at the long, the standard, or the compact. Let's go with standard here, and we will not require an entry in this field, and we'll go ahead and add this field. And now when I select my date range field, I first pick my start date. In this case, I'll say it starts on November 1st. I'll click then into my second one, which is my end date for the range. Let's say it ends on November 30th, and I'll click done. And now I'm getting that data displayed just like this. Now again, if I want to change the way that this is going to show up, that all lives in the field settings. So I can go to that display format, move to pill here, and now I can see how far along we are as of today. Again, today of filming being the 5th, I am only a small portion of the way through this 30-day date range. If you have any questions about what we covered in this training, please ask them below in the comments section of this video. And until then, we'll see you in the next training.